Greg Austin, professor at the University of New South Wales, Canberra, said construction activities in the South China Sea is an exercise of sovereignty by China on the territories it had laid claim on, and China has the right to do so. As the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague is about to issue its ruling on a case brought by the Philippines on South China Sea issue, Austin said there is no room for the Permanent Court to make a new law.
It's really all the court will be doing is restating what we all know to be existing customary international law or the law under the Law of the Sea Convention.
Austin said the South China Sea issue involves two very separate issues. One is the sovereignty dispute around the Nansha Islands, and one is the maritime rights dispute, which is covered by UNCLOS, which China is a signatory to. He said the two issues are a very dangerous combination.
There are no easy solutions in international law when that combination of disputes exists. And while the Philippines is quite within its rights to look to the Law of the Sea Convention, that will not answer any questions about territorial sovereignty. And the Permanent Court will make no judgment, can make no judgment on the issue of territorial sovereignty.
He said the court will not and cannot jeopardize China's interests because it cannot find anything contrary to the international law, and it cannot create a new international law.
We have the Law of the Sea Convention, we have customary international law. That won't change because of what this court says. It existed before the court, it's going to exist after the court.
Austin has been studying Chinese diplomacy for 30 years. He said looking back history, China made claims on the Nansha Islands a long time ago. The professor also said that China has been building airfield in the South China Sea, but China was not the first to do it.
Vietnam had a military airfield in the Spratly Islands. The Philippines had a very ordinary, poor military airfield. So what China has done, because it's more wealthy, has built superior airfields in the South China Sea.
The professor said, unfortunately, China's move in the South China Sea came alongside with U.S. strategy of pivot or rebalance to Asia. Despite a great difference between China and the United States on the South China Sea issue, Austin believed there will be no confrontation between the two countries.
And as the United States Assistant Secretary of State for East Asia, Dan Russell, just said in the last week, the level of cooperative collaboration between the United States and China is almost galactic, whereas this dispute in the South China Sea is a really small, localised dispute. And I think that's really the future of East Asia and the Pacific, is a continuation and a deepening of the almost galactic cooperation, trade, exchange and investment. We have to find a way to ensure that this smaller dispute in the South China Sea does not spoil the bigger picture.
Austin said China has shown in the past great flexibility in its diplomacy, which is also needed in solving the South China Sea dispute. He said he expected in 2 to 3 years' time, the South China Sea issue will not be as a hot issue as it is today.